Yeah, man. Surprisingly, it's like I didn't realize it. I had to when I'm in the gym, I didn't realize it until my sister pointed it out. I didn't realize I had a scar on my back. I don't know how I got it though.
Real?
Hmm. I think, and then when I realized it, I put the I think I because I put the barbell on my back, and I have a tank top, and the and
Mm-hmm.
some of the barbell that they have in the gym has a little like scratches, like it's like rusty a little bit to where you feel it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So me
yeah.
putting it on my shoulder and having and resting weight on it and me moving, I'm pretty sure it's scratching against my skin.
Of course.
Because
For sure.
I used to when I was smaller, I used to put the little protector pad on it. But as I got bigger, I'm like, as the trap's gotten bigger and you learn your form, I can get away
Mm-hmm.
with I can get away with it. So
Right?
yeah, once you put a little muscle meat in the back on your back, you
Hey,
don't feel
dog.
you don't feel a lot of stuff like you used to.
Look. I was just I was just laughing with my brother Brian H. Waters. Shout out to Brian H. Waters over at the Ringer. Um,
Oh, shout out to him, yeah, and condolences too.
yeah. When I saw him at Wale Mania, I went to give him a hug. Like that's like my like a little brother to me, man. So I went to reach him for the hug, and he was like, "Damn, man, you hurt my ribs." I was like, "My bad, bro. I don't be knowing my own strength sometimes." Like, you know what I'm saying? So later on, when I saw Cal from the Ringer and Black Wrestling, shout out to Cal, I made sure I was like, "Hey, Cal, he not a small dude either, but it's like I didn't want like grab him like I grabbed Brian H. So I made sure like I didn't uh I didn't hurt anybody else.
Well, sometimes you don't know your own strength. That's why I don't
Not at all.
that's why I don't play fight like I used to when I was in school.
Bro.
Because I know, and that's why I always look at a lot of women who like to, it's like, hey, just not to be too graphic, like, hey, choke me, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, hey, bruh, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to go to jail, my sister. I'm not trying, I'm not,
Bruh,
I'm not trying
like
to, I'm not trying to kill you. Like they be like, I'll be fine. No,
no,
you won't.
no. It happened a few years ago. One of my sisters had got the kids some boxing gloves for Christmas. And we was Christmas morning, they playing around with the gloves and stuff, and they wanted me to like, come on, Andrew wants to box you. I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And so they end up convincing me to do it, and then like I'm just moving around, like you know what I'm saying, and I'm letting him throw free punches. He was like, "You're not throwing no punches." I was like, "All right." Soon as I hit him with that first pat pat, it was like, "Whoa, wait a minute." I was like, "See, I tried to pull the punch. I wasn't even like swinging full force." Like, so that's why I know, like, nah, this ain't for me because I only know one speed. Go. I'm not trying to hurt nobody, bro. Especially not my son.
Speaking of hurting, who you got in a fight between 100 men and a gorilla?
The goddamn gorilla, man. I can't even believe this is debate. This is how I know a lot of y'all were left behind, did not watch Animal Planet or Nat Geo. Like, I'm just, bro, I'm saying, like, it's a gorilla. Do you realize the difference in his bone density, the thickness of his skin and everything? And somebody, I think if Van Lathan tried to say, something about they have vital organs or something like that, bro, you're not getting through to him. Like, I don't care what well laid out plan you have. If it does not involve a tranquilizer and or live bullets, it's not happening. I'm
Listen,
sorry.
I'm gonna need y'all to upgrade y'all weapons because you are not doing anything with a bare hand.
Get weapons.
Get the weapons. I don't care how buff you get. I don't care how ripped you think or people gonna hype you up.
Bruh,
Get you some weapons.
come
Okay.
on, dog. You need something. Because
You
I'm
need
saying though,
good aim, a shotty, a Glock, and prayer.
man, look, and you gotta have the right kind of ammunition if you're talking about pulling a gun on a bear on a gorilla. Because again, that the thickness of that skin with that fur and that bone density, like you gotta like blast.
Listen, man. Listen. I've seen the National Geographic Channel growing up. That lets you know I didn't get left behind. I've seen it all. I've heard it all. Y'all ain't winning against no damn gorilla. But no,
Real,
jokes aside, I actually enjoyed social media this weekend when these people wasn't talking about these 50-50 relationship bullshit.
Oh man, you know what? It was actually, to be honest with you, as dumb as it was to see people try to like explain this and create logic to it. It was still fun. It was still funny to like look at and whatnot. And it's like after the first like day or so, I was like, all right, like, are we really doing this? Like, y'all still going with this? But nah, man, it was cool. It was pretty funny. I want to say between that and it was something else goofy going on the timeline or whatever, man. It was pretty fun to see. Like a lot of people were saying it reminds them of old Twitter. Hi-Lite, my brother.
Let's see. I'm seeing just the camera, but not his audio. So I'm gonna give him a second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but man, it was pretty entertaining. I will say that.
Man, hey, listen. And then soon I knew, and I don't know if we need prayer or we need smoke or stacks from sinners.
Oh, bruh, like I still haven't seen. I need to go see it because everybody been talking about it, and I'm not like a huge movie guy or nothing like that. But with as good as it sounds and whatnot, and how everybody's been talking about it, man, I really have to. I really gotta. I gotta get.
What was that?
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. We need to put this comment on the screen because Lovely said she was gonna be nice to bald people for a whole week.
I feel like she's gonna be nice to bald people, but she wants me to slander bald people on her behalf.
2 days in, and we get this comment. Let the record reflect. I knew this wouldn't last.
Because unlike Duralast, it ain't built to last.
Not at all. Not at all.
We hear you. You shaking like a robot, but we hear you, brother.
Man, look, it's been a little minute, y'all. You gotta excuse me. I don't know what's going on today. I might have to reset this thing, but let me see if it calm down for a sec.
Nah, you good.
Close windows.
I ain't pushed the button yet.
Sorry, look.
Hmm?
You done turned into a You done turned into a Decepticon on us.
between him today and Ben on Thursdays, the internet is just not on y'all side.
Bruh. Like the funny thing is, man, like mine's works fine, but it just be the like my TV and like everything that I watch or stream or whatever is always behind. Always behind. I think I swear my philosophy is, my theory on it is that it's the syrup.
It probably helps. Do you hardwire your is your setup hardwired?
No, I'm on Wi-Fi.
That's probably why I don't really trust Wi-Fi. I don't know why. Everything has to be hardwired for me. Like literally, the only thing that is Wi-Fi is my phone and my TV downstairs. Everything else is hardwired.
Yeah, the TV and the Fire Stick like that's all Wi-Fi. But like computer and stuff, like laptop, like yeah, it's all Wi-Fi too.
How was on the phone?
But
You still delayed?
I don't know.
No, you good. Well,
It,
your camera and your audio ain't synced, but you're good.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
just funny, man, because like I never really had an issue, but I'm just thankful I ain't never had an issue. That's all I can say. Because I really thought I was gonna have an issue, but it hasn't done anything crazy.
The only issue I had was T-Mobile, so I'm kind of glad I left them. So,
Hmm.
so I'm good with that.
Yeah, I think
but if you're ready to go, we can get the show started. Wow, Hi-Lite continue to figure his stuff out.
Y'all was funny.
Go fuck yourself.
Feeling like GRESH UNLEASHED. When the club go around here, I'm a cactus. Bang, bang, gang, I don't owe you jack. When I'm in the ring, it's just me and my best friends. OC cutting no slack. Hollywood Miz, you can put me on the A-list. GRESH UNLEASHED, better put it on your playlist. Me and my fam be ballin' like the Bruce. Fight night, baby, hard hitting like Sheamus. Family first, yes, bloodline business. Winning all the gold, look at how they witness. I was taught to be the greatest. 1,000 days I'm running, check out the book of Guinness. Coolin' with the baddies in the baddie section. Guarantee you they ain't jaded. Yellow, you baby face, I ain't feeling your gimmick. The fans think it's overrated. I bet you thought you the EST, but homie, you don't even really go here. I'm better than you and you know it. Scumbag, baby, I'ma make that clear. Making many moves while I'm headed on the flight. I'm the mega star, baby, on these LA nights. Putting on 5-star classics, contract year, cause today is a whole new price. Brock Lesnar on the beast. Eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. Whole new swag with a price on the tag. Coming live from the west to the east. Better recognize on the mouthpiece. See the power level gotta increase. Bringing content on a daily. Feeling like GRESH UNLEASHED.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary pals, baby mamas, baby daddies, and everybody in between. Welcome back to the GRESH Unleashed podcast. This is episode 116 of the show that brings you the good vibes to the best of our abilities. Joining you as always is the voice that does the most, the purveyor of mischief, Gresh. And joining me as always is my partners, my mains. Joining up first is none other than one of my guys representing the Sucio Boys podcast, returning from Las Vegas. He is none other than the giant himself of the family, Jermaine. What's good, brother?
What's up, man? I had to salute my my tribal chief of the Wild Baltimoreans fam. I presented him with a Lola Falana after Ashe Thursday morning. Because it's a story behind that.
Okay.
He would always mispronounce the Ula Fala and just started calling it the Lola Falana. So I actually ordered him a Lola Falana of sorts.
Wait, so that's the actual thing, Lola Falana? Like, is that
No,
actual?
it's just a made up thing. It's actually like you know how the Ula Fala is made out of the vegetable, the little pepper or whatever, and they color it.
Mm-hmm.
His is actually red Mardi Gras beads with crabs on it because he is from Baltimore. So, and we don't do the finger, we do the thumb.
I do this.
There you go. Yeah, but I made sure I checked in with my oos, Marty, to make sure I wouldn't be offending nobody or nothing like that, because I know how that can be. You know, when you doing cultural specific stuff or whatever, you don't want to upset or offend anybody or nothing like that. And once I told him, I explained, he was like, "Oh no," he was like, "You good, you good." He was like, "It's the people that like, basically like culturally appropriated and like wear it like it's a piece of jewelry or an accessory or something like that, and it really does have like
Well, I think they're part of the family."
Yeah, and it really does have like a meaning in their culture and stuff like that. So that's why I wanted to make sure I wouldn't be like culturally insensitive or nothing like that. So
see,
once I got his blessing, I was like, okay, I'm good.
My type of culture and appropriation is if you can't cook.
Oh,
That's my cultural appropriation because my brother and sister in Christ, y'all need to learn how to season your greens. If I have to sprinkle and drown the collard greens that you create in hot sauce as a substitute because for your lack of seasoning, then we have a problem. Amen.
Listen here. You preaching. I don't even eat greens, and I know like you can't do that, man. Like it has to be done properly. A
I
matter of
eat
fact,
greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, bam.
you name it.
Every time I'm coming to the kitchen. In the goddamn refrigerator.
Big brother Double D.
What's happening, man?
What's happening, man?
What's good
What's
with you,
up?
brother? It's been a while.
It has, man.
First of all, welcome back. Continue positive vibes with your familiar situation that took you away for a while.
Yes. I want to dedicate this episode to my boy who is resting on the other side, man. Shout out to Big John Swift, man. Yeah, man, we're gonna miss you, brother. You was full of life, but at the end of the day, man, I found out that before actually leaving Earth, he actually was watching Monday Night Raw on his way, on his last days, and that touches me because I was actually getting him back into wrestling. He was an old school wrestling fan. Macho Man was his favorite. He would send me Macho Man videos all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. So the fact that I was getting them back in, man, just goes to show that that touched my heart, man. Apparently, I've been giving a lot of people. I'll share y'all my WrestleMania experience when we get to that. But yeah, I've been converting a lot of people to wrestling lately. Go figure.
Bro, I know I have at least one for sure.
Okay.
And I'm trying to convert somebody else as we speak. Like, so it's been fun, man. It really has been fun getting people like either into it or back into it.
Yes, absolutely.
Speaking of WrestleMania, might as well go
ahead.
ahead and talk about Vegas. What's up with you, man? What we got? Because we don't need to talk about WrestleMania week because we already had that covered last week over on the Public Enemies podcast. If you guys want to tune in every Thursday, so we don't have to spend too much time. But our man was out. Like the last episode y'all heard from us before we took our brief little break was a retro review, which a lot of y'all have been enjoying. Appreciate y'all. We might do more of those in the future.
Yeah,
to be determined. We go off vibes over here, so who knows? It may not ever happen again. You never know. But we had a good time talking about that, and you went off to Sin City. That's the city, right? Sin City. Okay, because people change nicknames every other week. So Sin City, Vegas, and yeah. So how did you enjoy it? Because this was what your first vacation of this year.
Yeah, definitely. This is my first vacation in like a couple years, actually. But yeah, man, it was dope. It was dope. Like just what we all kept talking about, like on the trip and after the trip. If you check out, I believe Sloan at Sucio Sloan 217, he has it on his Twitter, I believe on his YouTube. Him and Fam actually did a little bit of a recap show a couple days after everybody got back. So that's up there for y'all to take a look at as well. But it was just really dope, man, to see everybody, all the different people like in the IWC that we community with, all the different content creators, podcasters and whatnot, especially at Ashe. Like that to me, that was like the kickoff of our weekend, and it was pretty much the highlight. Not to say that everything went all downhill from there. It was still some dope stuff that happened, and we still had a great time. But just to have like so many of us content creators, writers, podcasters, influencers, whatever you want to call us, in one building at one time, everybody like having a good time, enjoying the show. And it was a great show, by the way. Shouts out to Darius Lockhart for another great show. Because I've been able to see like either some matches or some highlights or something like that online and on their YouTube channel. But to be in the building, like literally sitting front row, it was man, it was, I mean, a great time, a great show. The vibes before, during, and after the show was great. A bunch of us took a pic after the show out in the parking lot, and it's on everybody's social media and stuff like that. But it was just cool to see everybody like getting along and just having a good time.
No bullshit.
You know, Wale Mania was dope. Exactly. Wale
That part.
Mania was dope. Now, there was this one time at Wale Mania where I thought I was gonna have to choke slam a couple.
Should have. I got your bail.
Cause I'm like, you know me, I'm like overprotective big bro. So like we was all standing in this one area watching the show. I said, hey, I'm gonna go outside, make sure, you know, people outside are good. I'm coming right back. Walk off, go check on everybody outside. I come back inside. I go right back to standing where I was. Man, is these two little fellas gonna tap me and like, hey, bro, you just gonna come stand right in front of us? We can't even see. I just turned around, looked at him like, I turned back around. The dude tapped me again, and I looked over my other shoulder, and I'm like, I ain't even seen nothing that time. I was like, I just looked. Like, you don't see this look on my face, like, Negro, I'm ready to kill you. Like, leave me alone. I don't like being tapped. Like, bro, when people tap me, like I go from 0 to 100 with them first couple of little taps. Like, I don't like that. And it's a big ass plate. Like, you can move around.
Or you could just slide to the left, slide to the right.
And guess what they end up doing? They moved around and stood in front of where I was standing. Good. Bro, I don't care if I'm 6'5". Like, that's not my fault. That's not my problem. It's not your fault that you 5'6" or whatever it is. Like, you can't see. My people's is standing right here. I'm about to stand right next to them and make sure they good. Like, if you got a problem with that, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
Better cha-cha their ass on
outside of that, man. Outside of that, man, we was good though. We was good. It was good. No way. I take that back. It was at one point all the fellas was outside and I was inside with the girls by myself. So I'm extra guarded because I'm inside with the girls by myself. I look over my right shoulder and I see somebody dancing on D, and I'm like, wait a minute. And I looked and I like turned around real. I was like, oh, that was Jeff. That's her fiance. I was like, oh,
about
my
to
bad.
snatch up the fiance. God damn it.
My bad. Look, it was dope. Look, because like I just remember looking and there was nobody there, and I looked again and I see her dancing. Somebody dancing on her. I didn't realize it was Jeff.
Transported.
Jeff came back inside.
Teleported into the. He clipped into the real life frame.
Bro, he did. You know how Mr. Dude, the butler from Mr. D's, just would pop up. He did one of them and just was dancing behind her.
No build up, no preparation, just boom, twerking.
Oh, yeah. And like, it threw me off. So I'm like, you know, guard. I'm like, hey, oh, that's Jeff. I was like, my bad, dog. My bad. I thought that was somebody else dancing on. But it was cool though, because shout out to Jeff and D. They ended up getting married Sunday before night too.
Hey.
We was all part of their little ceremony and everything, man. So,
Oh,
shout out to them,
Vegas
man.
wedding.
But yeah, we had a great time. Like, it was really dope to see everybody and to connect with everybody, and just to see it, feel the love. You know what I'm saying? It came at the right time for a lot of us, because a lot of us, you know, life be lifing. And some people didn't come for one reason or another, and I almost didn't go for one reason or another and end up going. And I thank God that I did go, because it was really a good time that everybody had. And I mean, just from the shows and stuff, just vibing with everybody and connecting with everybody and stuff like that, it was a good time.
Hey man, that's all you could ask for, because we had a good time in Philly last year, and Vegas, according from everybody's social statuses and social media update, was a vibe. Wale Mania was the last one, I believe he said, for like, and what a way to go out if it is the last one for 10 years. So I was like, what the hell are we gonna do in New Orleans if we going? But then I thought about it. After I said that, I was like, it's New Orleans. We will find something the fuck to do.
Absolutely.
Trust me. Look here, I already got a backup plan for that. I know some people that have some clubs and do different little party promotions and stuff like that. So even if they don't do something,
Word.
I know that there'll be like at least a club night or something like that we can all
Oh
do.
yeah, word. Because
Yeah.
it's like, and the way these ticket prices are going, I ain't gonna see you inside of a WrestleMania stadium no time soon. So I'm just gonna enjoy the
Man.
festivities around, turn it into a vacation, and just call it a day. Because
That's the way to do it, brother.
If I don't get a media credential, I will not be in the
I
Super
will
Zone.
not be there.
Forget about it.
You see somebody
Hey.
pay $40,000 for SummerSlam?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
But did y'all see the way they tried to frame it? Like it's not just it's not just the ringside ticket. Like you get this and this and this and this, and it's like, no, man, if I'm paying 40 G's, I want to be in that Joe Hendry spot.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
You want these people to say your name and you appear.
What?
Mhm.
Man, look, I'm trying to take a RKO and sell it like I done got shot. Look, I'll even jump off the top rope and let him RKO me off. Let's plan this out right quick before we go out there.
So for those who didn't catch it, shout out to Andrew Baydala on Twitter. He said Elite Plus package prices for front row floor seats center TV side for WWE SummerSlam 2025 at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey are $40,000 per seat per ticket. They include premium front row seating, in-ring photo op, in-ring photo op at SummerSlam, private transportation to events, elite welcome event, private section at all-inclusive pre-show, hospitality with superstar appearances by Kevin Nash and more. Kevin Nash.
Big Diesel, baby. Big Diesel.
Okay.
Detroit's finest.
Post-show press conference access and desk photo op. So you're basically gonna pay to be in the press conference. Tickets to both nights of SummerSlam, tickets to SmackDown and Raw as well on August 1st and 4th, respectively, and more. The non-center front row is just an elite package, and it is priced currently at a little bit cheaper, $32,500. So you just save $500 whole dollars for premium front row seating, and pretty much the same ordeal.
Niggas
I can pay off my entire lease for the year with $40,000.
Man, that's a whole brand new car at least.
I can pay off my car too.
Listen,
yeah, facts.
that is several mortgage payments.
My nigga, what?
Lots of them.
Hold on. So we paying for media credentials? Are you kidding me?
Listen,
what kind of slap in the face is that to folks earning their media credentials, dog?
Listen, man. You know what I said when I read that? I didn't get upset. I didn't get angry. I said, you know what? It's kind of crazy. Let me go back to minding my tax bracket. Because this is not for me.
Bingo.
this is not for me.
Bingo.
So how many millions of people do they think and just
they said they sold out of the 40,000. So some people,
they sold completely out.
So some people legitimately paid 40,000 for SummerSlam tickets for that entire package.
Well, shoot. Hey, what job y'all got so I can get that job done and do that like this?
People who be paying for this, it got to be a tax write-off. It got to be a tax write-off. Like it got to be a business for them to travel to these things.
Either that or they got some slave money. Which one is it?
Or they trafficking something.
If you put it on a corporate card, and all you have to do is have at least one business meeting or whatever for that whole trip or whatever, the whole trip is a write-off.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like there has to be a way for these people, these main people that we be seeing in the front row, green shirt guy, that lady, and this other guy with glasses. It has to be a way for them to. I'm like, y'all have to be. This has to be a tax write-off because there's no way that these tickets are this expensive and you're at every show.
Every show, bro. That's wild.
Yeah, it's just wild, man. It's wild. But another thing too is I'm also wondering if because they're such regulars and such faithful attendees, do they get certain perks and or discounts or whatever? Because even if I'm WWE or if I'm the what is the name of the service provider for those experiences or whatever? I can't remember the name of it, but I think it's like on site or on launch
You talking
or
about
something like that.
for the tickets?
If I'm
On location.
yeah. On
'Cause
location.
we did it
Okay, there we
for
go.
which SummerSlam did we do it for?
I think that was 23.
23. Was
Yeah.
The one
that
in
wasn't the
Nashville,
one? No,
right?
the one
No,
in
that was
Nashville.
22.
It was we went to Nashville
Okay,
in
okay,
22. 23. That's the Detroit one, right?
Yeah, Detroit. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, that's the one we did. Where they sold us those tickets. We was like,
And I was telling Gresh, I was like, bro, that's crazy with the type of pricing. You would think that would have been like 4 level, and they had you
We was
way in the up, like nosebleed level. And they're like,
It was
everything
like,
around it was cool. Meeting the superstars was cool. The Little Caesars
Mhm.
watch party was cool. But it was just the seating that was kind of like, this don't add up.
Yeah. It's always something, man. And with that new, like I've been saying it, with dynamic ticket pricing now for concerts and events and stuff like that, it's gonna price a lot of people out of it up until like last minute. Cause I wanna say the Monday night, the Raw after Mania tickets were kind of crazy as well, if y'all remember.
kind of.
But
Were.
like that morning, we get up and Sloan was looking at it and he was like, wait a minute, like I can get a ticket to Raw for like $125. It was like a decent seat too. It wasn't like a nosebleed. I think it may have been, I can't remember what seat it was, but it wasn't a bad seat. Because in T-Mobile, there's really no bad seats.
Oh, facts.
Like you could be sitting up there in the Sting seats and still have good sight lines and stuff like that. So it was a decent seat, and it was only like 125. And then I want to say when I was outside at Ashe, DDM, a BRP, shout out to DDM. He told me that he ended up getting a ticket for night one in the lower risers or something like that at a decent price. He was like, I was looking. He was like, I just happened to say, like, let me just check and see, like just one of those whimsical kind of things. And he said he was able to get a decent ticket for night one. So it was crazy, man. But it was just like, like we've talked about before, if you just wait till the last minute, you'll probably
That's what I'm about to say. I'm like that's really a thing where you wait until like if you just feel like going out there and just wait until like the day of or at least the day before and you just come across but they trying to get rid of them tickets. So you're gonna come across a good seat and be like, all right, bet.
When you think about it, it's the holiday effect. Like soon as Easter passes, that next day is like 75% off. Christmas hit. That's all they doing.
It was interesting to have WrestleMania Sunday on Easter Sunday / 420.
3 different occasions in one, right? That's crazy.
So if this was your belief, you wouldn't praise the Lord that morning, got high after service, and watched wrestling until you fell asleep.
Oh my god,
bro! The craziest part about watching it out there, the main show started at 4 Vegas time, and was over with by like 8. The post show was over by like 9-10. So it was like you could still do like whatever, go out if you wanted to, and that's why those Mania after parties that WWE was doing, that's why those were so popular, because out there in Vegas, they're probably leaving like Allegiant around, depending on whatever time they were performing or what have you. But you could go and take a shower, wind down, change, maybe even get a quick nap in, and then go out to the party and everything and have a good time. And it was pretty cool, man. We got invited to Mark Henry's thing one night, but by the time like we got the hey, we over here or whatever, we was like, hey bro, we already back at the Airbnb. Like, we ain't going nowhere. Like, we ain't going
We're
nowhere.
at the age where it's like once I'm in, I'm in. There's there's no revolving door. Like Mama used to say, if you either in or out this house, but there ain't no going back in and out. You're gonna either in or you're out. And when I'm in,
Listen.
I'm in. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's 8 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m. If I whip my shoes off, take my socks off, and stretch my quads, it's a wrap because I'm stretching. And when I'm stretching, I'm going straight to sleep.
For real. And we said that from experience because Gresh, remember, we weren't out like that now. I think the latest we did was when we did that GCW show. That was just like,
and boy, when I tell you we was on, I don't know how I stayed up through that. I genuinely don't. I don't know how I did it. I'm like, bro, my eyes are. I'm here, but I'm not here.
Man, let me tell you something. When we went for the culture, like we were strictly going because we were thinking, it's going to be for the culture. It's supposed to be another like, predominantly or all black experience.
How was that compared to Ashe? You can be real because we kind of shitted on it last year too, so you're fine.
Ashe was the show of the week.
So you can kind of tell that for the culture hasn't really been for the culture in a while.
Man, listen, when people have been telling me that, and then I got to experience it for my first time in the stuff that I saw, like let's not even talk about the card. Let's talk about how Joey Janela's show ran over. Doors were supposed to open and let in for the culture or Heels Have Eyes, whatever you want to call it, at 11. Show's supposed to start 11:59, right? They didn't start letting people in till like 12:30, 12:45. Shout out to Tavia. Tavia was I mean, and I told her this, like I said, hey, you handle that with grace and class, mixed with a little bit of don't play with me. Because it seemed like when we get there, the line is like literally winding through the casino because everybody is lined up, right? So we get there, we line up, and I'm like, I had already texted Fam, and Fam was like, yeah, the line's stupid. So I'm thinking it's just a long line, maybe a little bit of a wait. No, they weren't even letting people in. By the time we ended up getting there, we thinking we getting there late because the doors open at 11. I go up to the front just to see what the heck's going on, and some security lady or whatever from the casino or whatever was like trying to talk sideways or whatever. It's like, no, and Tavia handled that shit like a boss. Like, so shout out to her. But nah, it was just once we finally got in and got our seats and everything else, you're looking at the card and you're like, oh, okay, cool. But then it's like, I'm not tripping about them having white performers on the show, but when one of the main matches is Matt Riddle versus Gabe Kidd on a show called For the Culture, it's starting to, it done lost its meaning. When you have freaking the artist formerly known as Enzo Amore win the Battle Royal in the 4th rope flyweight championship or whatever, and he cuts Medusa presents him with the belt. Enzo wins it. First of all, let's talk about the last 3 black dudes in the Battle Royal all eliminated each other. Yeah. That happened. Then Enzo wins it. Medusa presents him with the title, and he cuts a promo saying she's been there for me, blah, blah, blah. We're the first family of 4th rope.
You didn't say that.
Like,
tell me you did not just say that.
Yes, he did say that. But on top of that, we were sitting in like the little box seats, kind of overlooking the lower level or whatever. And one of the surprise entrants in the battle royal was AJ Gray. So we were all excited and happy to see AJ come back to wrestling and everything, just dealing with everything that he's been dealing with. And some dude behind us was like, "Hey, didn't he?" And like collectively, everybody turned around and was like, "Hey, don't start that shit. Get your ass whipped." And dude just
I already knew what the fuck
he
he was
just
about
shut up.
to say.
dude, he didn't even get it out. He just shut up immediately and stayed
I
quiet.
apologize for my outburst.
Exactly. Because brother, you was about to get beat up.
Wow.
But nah, man, it was just and then like the way the cage for the cage match for the main event was like a fence. And it was about my height or a little bit taller than me. And so it was just the way they were trying to put it together while the different musical acts were trying to perform. And there's like the little ramp to the ring from the stage. People are trying to perform and people are trying to put the cage together, and they're both
Clashing.
like, oh my gosh, Gresh, you know that production background. Like
What?
I my neck got tight.
Dang.
Oh,
All my neck
if I
got
would have
tight,
saw it,
and I
you
was
know
squirming in my seat.
my commentary would have been like, "All right, bro, who did this shit? Who planted this bullshit? Who
Bruh,
planted
listen.
this?"
And then on top of that, the ring had a gap between it and the end of the ramp. And at first it wasn't that bad, but after the battle royal, it kind of shifted a little bit because I guess the ring
So
shifted.
they didn't sandbag the ring.
And brother, listen. All I know
Because
is
I've seen rings without the matting and stuff. They can literally, to keep it from moving, just buy some sandbags from like Home Depot or Lowe's and put them on each ring post at the bottom,
Yep.
just so it doesn't
Yep.
move. Or put cinder blocks down there.
Either that, or I've also seen the 5-gallon buckets filled with concrete.
Like y'all didn't do none
Like,
of that. If the ring shifted, that means somebody didn't do something right.
bruh, all I remember was it wasn't that bad at first, and then it got the gap grew. And it was a couple times where we saw talent like shout out to Littlefoot because she kind of got caught up by it, but played it off. I mean, extremely smooth and professional.
Man, come on, because she's tiny,
But-
so you already know.
Yeah, but listen, this how you know it was bad because Tommy Dreamer fat ass almost got swallowed by it. Bruh, he got eliminated. And he like laying there or whatever, and I guess he kind of fell through it and was sinking in there, and they had to like help him get up out of there. I was like, oh man.
Amateur hour. Come on, man.
Shout out to Busted Open. That's what you call it.
Hey man, it was, but overall, like I said though, it was okay. I mean, the thing is when, and this is what I believe I'm telling this correctly. When Darius Lockhart first partnered with GCW, it was supposed to highlight black talent and whatnot. And I remember this because I remember the original emblem for GCW's For the Culture was like the red, green, and black flag.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking they're going to continue this, especially with Fourth Rope being involved. And through some online interactions or whatever, we realized that their definition of For the Culture is just wrestling culture, hip hop, and whatever and whatnot. So it's no longer like this black or black exclusive type.
The way the wrestling industry is, from basically the stories that I've heard, I would not be surprised that they felt some type of way because Ashe became a thing. So they practically self-sabotage For the Culture, just so that people won't be enticed to come. I would not put that past anybody in wrestling.
The thing is, man, like if you're gonna support an event that's supposed to be for us or whatever and highlight us, Ashe is it. Because I can't tell you like I knew I won't say new, but I was like familiar with some of the talent that was on the card, like either name recognition or I've actually seen their matches.
Wasn't John there?
But to be there, yeah, he was. He was part of the 10-man tag, and just the matches that they put on. Leon Slater versus Darius was dope, and I became a huge Leon Slater fan because of that. And then at For the Culture, he was it. I think it was a triple threat with him, Mustafa Ali, and formerly known as Cameron Grimes, Trevor Lee. Yeah, there was a spot where Leon did a dive over the ring post and kind of caught the ring post. He popped up like nothing happened, and I'm like, bruh, I know that hurt.
Oh, he felt it later.
The adrenaline. Oh, I know he felt it later because like when he went to go get back in the ring and he turned around, you could see this huge mark on his back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shoot, like damn, like he really did like catch that ring post. But like that kid, and I'm saying that kid because I literally have a kid who's older than him and one who's a tad bit younger than him. Like he's right in between my kids' ages. Like that kid, he got it. Like he is it. And Darius drill rap into the ring. There was an audio malfunction, and he did it a cappella. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Charity King and Danny B. They wrestled Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan.
Was it Fire and Flavor?
Shout out to
What
Fire and Flavor.
Freak?
Bruh.
I swear on everything.
But listen, you could they have it available on their website to go and purchase and watch.
I mean,
just trust me.
I would love to because I love Fire and Flavor. They were a dope tag team. But my thing is when you said Kiera Hogan, it just made me say, is she still AEW these days? Because what the freak are they doing with her, bro?
My brother in Christ. She's with Ring of Honor with Diamante. What are they doing with them? Just vibes.
She been out for a year.
Yeah.
That match was her first match back in the year.
Okay, I thought so because I knew she was hurt, and that's why I was just like, I ain't seen her, and I'm like,
before she got hurt, just vibes.
Yeah, she cut a promo before the match, calling out Jada Stone. And made her sit
the Pocket Rocket. Word to Sloan.
Pocket, baby.
Yeah, Pocket
we got
Rocket.
To see her last year,
man.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jada Stone.
Yeah, she wrestled La Rosa Negra at the Ashe show. That was a pretty good match too. But yeah, man, the 10-man tag main event. Shout out to the two Dariuses, Carter and Lockhart, because the way the finish was and the picture that they got from the finish, the way it was done, set up, it was. You want to talk about cinema? That was cinema.
Cinema.
Definitely. So definitely peep out Ashe Wrestling if y'all can, man. Show them some love because they really got some dope stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. Speaking of cinema, we had as far as prediction winners for WrestleMania weekend, it was a tie. We were both smart that weekend.
Oh,
between you and me, it was a tie. Yeah.
What? You mean I didn't get caught by the hook this time?
We were both smart that weekend. But due to it being a draw, I'm still the predictions champ. So the next pay-per-view we got coming up, what is that?
Damn it.
What is the next pay-per-view coming up?
Backlash.
I feel like Dusty Rhodes in the Garden in 77.
Oh yeah.
Backlash is the next pay-per-view coming up. And speaking of Backlash, how we feeling about Cena versus Orton being made official for Backlash for the undisputed WWE Championship? The silence is canning.
This is giving definitely giving retirement tour vibes, but this one's for the nostalgia freaks, like Cal would say. Simply because if you grew up or you watched wrestling in that mid 2000s, late 2000s, early 2010s era, like these two guys were the guys, and that rivalry was one of the rivalries of that era. And to know that they've been up and down the roads together and been doing this for, over 20 years now, like it's pretty cool to see them like have one more go round before John Cena decides to hang it up.
Yeah, because I sure was gonna say it's giving real Expendables right about now, and this is definitely them getting ready to let you know you got Arnold Schwarzenegger and freaking Stallone just ready to click clack, WWE version, baby. Let's give you all the greatest hits. Let's give you all the RKOs and AAs and STFUs and DDTs that you can get while also moving at a very slow pace. Wow.
Yeah, because let's keep this being in the boat. John Cena ain't the same. Randy Orton is a methodical wrestler, and ever since he came back from the back surgery, he leaned into it. So this match is going to be peak definition of 1980s wrestling main event.
And if that, and as we saw with that WrestleMania main event, I mean, if that's what you like, you're gonna love how this.
So you think we're gonna as soon as Randy Orton about the tease for that RKO, you're gonna hear fiend, fiend,
oh
fiend,
god,
fiend, fiend, fiend.
oh my, oh my, oh my,
oh my.
Hey man, listen
about that, yeah.
Bitch,
rolling, got me stargazing. Nah. We ain't going there, bro.
Hey man, just the way Hi-Lite said that told me all.
He said, "Oh my god, no."
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Look. Listen, let me tell you this. From my experience of that, all right, like I was lucky enough to actually watch that one solo, but like had that probably happened on the first night when I watched it at a birthday party, WrestleMania theme with a bunch of casuals, it would have been real interesting to see what the casuals would have had to say about that ending because, boy, I mean, most of these folk know who Travis Scott is. So I would have loved to see how the casuals. Because, man, let me tell you, I realized it is so much more fun watching wrestling with casuals because you catch the ones that either never saw it before a day in their life. One girl was sitting there going, wow. Oh my God. Wow. Like every bump, every crazy. Meanwhile, some of the casuals that used to kind of watch it is like, wow. All right. Well, so that referee counting too slow, man. Because it was fun because let me tell you why it was fun. So she did a prediction scorecard thing and the winner of that particular night got cashed out $20 or whatever. So everybody was super into it. And it was like, folks would be like, oh, man, that ref counting too slow, man. I think that ref counting a little too slow. I'm like, oh, that's about a normal count, But I get why you're saying that. You could tell who was rooting for who because they were trying to keep it secret. And I'm like, well, this should be interesting. Me thinking I was going to mess around and win it, I actually lost.
I would love to, if people complain about the slow count ref, I would love to see Earl having a count in the late 90s.
Man. Oh no, Tim White too. Bro, Tim White was like that too, bro. He was counting slow like that too.
And Nick Patrick.
Yeah,
Patrick
oh
too.
God.
He
was king of that, bro.
Yeah.
Yo. Bro.
Because Nick Patrick and I want to say Earl and Dave Hebner, they both had that count where they would like do almost the Hogan hand.
I'm about to say, remember, I think it was like 96. 90, like I think when Undertaker won the WWF title and WrestleMania, I think it was what, 13? And Earl Hebner, 12 or 13. Earl Hebner 13, count, he was like 1, 2, 3. I'm like, what the fuck?
Hey,
like, bruh, you gonna make me go back and watch.
I'm trying to tell you, if you ever
because
watched that, like, bro, that's all he did. It was like, I think they started doing it in like 95 all the way to like 97, and then when the Attitude Era went in full swing, they stopped doing it. But
yeah,
it was. I was like, bro, count. That's like 4.
Bruh, it's and you know what, you're right though, because Attitude Era 3 counts were like 1,
Mhm.
2, 3. It was like real quick and
Mhm.
consistent. And in order for you to get that little kick out, you had to be on
Mhm.
point. Like you had to be
Facts.
ready. Cause like when that 1 hit and that 2 hit, that 3 is coming.
Man.
You better be ready.
And they used to catch you, man. I swear I used to hate whenever it would be that, that false like 2 count that sounds like a 3 count, and you're like, nah, I know my mind ain't playing tricks on me. Swear to God that was a 3 count. But then it was like 2, and I'm like, I know I heard that thing go 3 times. It was like,
no, you know what it is? I think it's like when the ref like jumps down to give the count. That's the only thing I think it could, because I noticed the exact same thing, and that's the only logical explanation I can come up with.
That lets you know we watch too much wrestling because we pay attention to everything.
Analyzing the 3 count.
Like these niggas over here talking about the 3 count. Like, God dang, y'all into it, ain't it? But look, hey, I challenge y'all, man. I just want everybody to know, man. If you ain't, definitely watch wrestling with some of your casual friends. It's cool watching it with our hardcores because we know what to expect, and the perspective is different when I'm watching it, say, with you two fellas, because like we're theorizing of what we think because we watch so much of it. When you watch it with casuals, like it's funny because now you can tell they're either getting back into it or they're looking at this like, man, I can't believe I actually used to watch this, but they're still locked in. And then it's just, if they've never tried it before, they're like, oh.
It's because of creators like us that know how to make it interesting at our big age. Because let's be real, we're grown men watching grown men tussle in tights and jorts when it comes to John Cena. So,
yo, that was the thing too. I'm glad you said tights because that was another thing. They kept wondering why are all the old wrestlers wearing tights, like the underwear. They were calling them diapers. That's what they were calling them. like, bro, I kid you not.
Why these old niggas wearing diapers, bro? What the fuck is going on?
No, and then look,
and they wear fancy depends to the ring.
Hey, but look, this is what really took me out was when one of them was like, "Who is gonna sit here and wait on somebody to do this to them? Like, in what real life is somebody gonna sit here and wait for somebody to do this move to them?" And I'm like, bro, listen, that's wrestling. that's part of the
right.
That's professional wrestling.
Like
you want us to really peel back the curtain? WWE Unreal is going to peel back the curtain even further. So,
there's a lot of I saw some chatter about this online, and it's split with people who are for it and want to watch it and can't wait, and then there's some people is like, this is just too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit too much. And as a person who loves behind the scenes documentaries, how it was made and all that kind of stuff, like I don't mind it because we already know this stuff goes on. So why are we continuing to pretend like this is exposing the business? The business already been exposed.
Listen, bro, you want to know who exposed the business? You did, niggas.
Yeah. We talking about that infamous kayfabe moment. Yeah.
Nigga, these niggas exposed the business before I was even in middle school. What the fuck are we talking about, boy? Y'all was exposing the business when I was in my mama's belly. Like, come on now.
hey, Gresh, they must have forgot that Beyond the Mat exists out there. You can watch it for
literally,
free.
that was like what? That was like 99, 97?
97.
That was 99.
Like,
99.
Bro, come on, like you talk about exposing. Good God, man. That was a whole life study on pro wrestling.
I'm not in the business, so I don't give a fuck. Let's start there. I respect people in it. I respect that y'all put your body on the line. But for me, like, why do I go online? Why would I go online and be like, yo, my God, you're exposing the business. I can't believe that they are pulling the curtain back even more. You don't have to tell me that it's not real. Like, think Marvel. You don't have to tell me that the movie isn't real. You want to know the beautiful thing about what we've been given as we have been placed on this earth? Free will. So with free will, you can freely not watch said documentary series. I promise it won't
Facts.
be the end of the world.
Facts.
Sometimes you can willingly
You can
be
also-
oblivious to certain things.
Mhm.
But from a
Man.
production's
You
point
can
of view,
also
I'ma watch it because I want to see how it's
Yep.
made.
Mhm. As a
Yep.
creative
And you know what's
mind,
gonna happen after
Also,
that? I'ma
Come on.
still watch the regular product because I know how to live in the real world, motherfucker.
I mean, you can even curtail your social media feed to not
Yeah,
get
that's just
spoilers
like
or
niggas getting mad about
tips or
people
whatever.
spoiling
Like,
sinners when you can just mute the word.
thank you.
It's been
Thank
It's
you.
been 2
You
weeks.
can just mute the word.
Like niggas are going to talk. You better be glad nobody talked the opening weekend. They was willingly giving you a week to go see.
Yep. I mean, it's one of those things, man, where it's just something else for people to gripe and
Yeah.
complain about. You know what I'm saying? It's just something else for them to gripe. And
But yeah,
complain about.
we scrolled past that Backlash match because hey, let's be real, it's a John Cena match in 2025. It's the retirement tour. You're full of nostalgia, but let's be real, wrestling wise, he hasn't moved me since 2020. Ooh, 20
would it be the Bray Wyatt match, maybe?
the Bray
That-
Wyatt match.
The Bray Wyatt match was cool. The one he had at SummerSlam at Allegiant with Roman was okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
was
2021.
okay.
That was when it was
okay.
starting. Where I was like, okay, yeah, let me not expect a lot from John Cena because he's Hollywood now.
But
They don't want to injure
yeah.
him, so he's going to be extremely
Mhm.
limited. Like 2017 was the last risk taker John Cena.
Yeah.
Him and AJ
Yeah.
Styles.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say at that Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
in San
that was the
Antonio.
last risk taker John Cena, where
was-
he did
yeah.
not care. Whereas now that he's in Hollywood, you're going to not get you're not gonna see no Hurricane Corona from that man. You ain't gonna
Take the
see
bag.
no. Yeah, he's
But it's not only the Hollywood thing. I think it's just that he's, as his career has progressed, he's gotten older, and like we got to think about it. That AJ Styles match was like 8-9 years
oh
ago.
yeah.
True.
And he's closer to 50 than he is 40. So it's like
That's why my experience is
his
always
body
low
can't do that type.
when it comes to John Cena matches. I don't go in there and be like, oh my God, this is gonna be the greatest match I've ever seen. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I said it when we saw it. John Cena and Randy Orton, you're gonna have two feelings. You're either gonna be extremely excited or have extreme PTSD if you sat through 2007 and 2009 era of John Cena and Randy Orton. I promise. In my case, I'm having PTSD because God dang, they wrestled a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm more or less just like I said, just the nostalgia of it, and just to see what both guys at this stages of their career can actually pull out.
Now,
You know, and
I will say too, to add to you, Jermaine, there is one slight thing. Now, granted, that was the Elimination Chamber, and it did protect Cena a bit because he wasn't in that full match. But the exchange between him and CM Punk did kind of show, well, these two old dogs still have their chemistry, as we saw. So there is that possibility that these two still can pull up some magical chemistry of the past. It just may not be as athletic as it once was, but it'll still get that ovation from the crowd of like, you still got it.
It'll definitely still be. It'll be the storytelling match. John Cena will definitely work on his man's surgically repair back. Randy gonna do the comeback, and John Cena is likely gonna cheat and retain. The whole stick. It'll be entertaining. The pomp and circumstances will definitely be entertaining because we're wrestling fans at the end of the day. We enjoy it's the last time we're gonna see John Cena for this year. Randy Orton is Randy Orton. I'm surprised that they're doing it now, but I get it. They're trying to get this out the way because they only have John Cena for certain like select dates. I think that he got him for Backlash, and I think he got him for Saturday night's main event. And then I believe they probably going to slow down a little bit during the summer. And then he'd probably be around for SummerSlam, maybe Survivor Series. And then I'm pretty sure they'll probably shape up December to be the final round of John Cena, like before he's gone.
26 more days.
26, yeah, and counting. You know,
And counting. He said it's not just match. It's not matching. This is appearances.
appearances.
I mean, he's like,
Yep.
oh, you can't wrestle. I don't have to. I just got to show up and do this shit.
Bruh, when that line right there was a whole ball.
Yeah.
You can't wrestle. I don't have to.
Yeah.
Because you're going to watch regardless. All I got to do is just show up and do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So yeah, that's not the only match we got for Backlash either. For switching over to Raw, we got Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about about it.
Can I? Yeah, let's shoot the hip on this, brother. Walk with me, peoples, because I actually just saw that literally because I had to catch up on Raw. It's been a rough couple of weeks, so I had to catch up on this stuff. There's still matches I got to catch up on from like last.
You could have did what I did and just not watch. I do.
Well, no. I mean, but like I was shout out to Public Enemies. You know what I'm saying? Because I was listening to y'all episode, like, and I still got to catch up on the theme of Mercedes. Like that's what I'm saying. I'm behind.
Yeah, sometimes I don't even watch. I'm like, unless it's a match or a segment that I know for sure that I want to watch, I ain't watch. I'm not gonna force myself to watch the highlights.
True that. You're right, Gresh. You're right. But look, the reason I say I had to, I'm sorry. You pulled up a perfect point. I had to pull up because let's call it like it is. Number one. First off, I guess I can appreciate that you decided to not. I can't tell if that was a shot at Naomi Jade or if that was you just trying to say, yeah, we're not gonna do this whole whodunit thing. I did it. Okay, cool, but that was the most bland reveal at the same freaking time because you couldn't have been more obvious.
I feel like she did that because everybody and their mama predicted that she did it.
For sure. And I give her credit.
So she was like, I'm not finna draw it out. I did that shit. I'm guilty as fuck.
Okay. And look. And that may be true, bro. That may be true. But here's my issue, though. Why the heck didn't I believe a single word coming out of this woman's mouth? Because I'm trying to. Can y'all help me out with the Bailey situation? Is there real life beef here or something I don't know about? Because I ain't feel none of it. I was just like, I feel like you're just saying stuff right now.
The only thing that I can deduce from all of this is the reports that said this was the plan like weeks ago or whatever to do it exactly how all this turned out. And when you couple that with the little nuggets from Bailey's Chris Van Vliet interview,
I heard that
about her, her comments and stuff like that. So I just think that I really think that this was. It seems like another reason why they call her Becky Hope, because supposedly she had been resigned earlier this year, and they were waiting for the perfect opportunity to, bring her back. And it made no sense for her to take out Bailey, be Lyra's surprise partner, win the belts, drop them the next night, and then turn on Lyra. Like this could have been, like if they really wanted to bring her back and give her her moment, why wouldn't they just bring her back the Raw after Mania? Let Bailey and Lyra have their moment at Mania and have Becky cost them the titles on the Raw after Mania or something like that. Like, why did she have to bogart that spot from Bailey and get put into that situation or whatever? And to me, it speaks to, like, if this was, creative that they proposed to her, like, why wouldn't you say, well, what's Bailey gonna do? Because she's been there holding it down.
True.
And I mean, Bailey's been holding down that women's division since before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and after. And if we really gonna be serious about it, like if there is one woman that you want to single out and say, like, who's been the MVP, from the pandemic era forward in that women's division, it's been Bailey, without question. I mean, you can make an argument, for Bianca, but when you look at the character work and everything that Bailey has done either holding up the tag titles or holding up one of those women's titles when she did for like a little over a year. And then also her like being gracious enough to make other stars.
Right.
She's been holding down that women's division, and Becky ain't been doing that. And I think that now it's starting to get to a point where people aren't feeling Becky Lynch. And I literally had like 2 or 3 people when we were watching it up in Vegas walk outside when she came out.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you because I sure was gonna say that crowd was mighty freaking quiet as she was cutting that promo. But that was kind of my next point. As I'm watching this, not only am I not believing you and your emotion didn't sound genuine at all.
The biggest the biggest reaction she got was when she revealed that she attacked her, and then they just said, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, and then Lyra comes out and is quiet for a minute. Then she cuts her side of the story, and she kind of sort of took a minute, but she kind of got the crowd a little back into it with the oohs and ahs of what she was saying. But none of that reaction was for Becky at all, it seemed. And it just leads me to believe, I'm like, dog, like, one, I almost want to say you're not really, I don't think she's ever been a good heel, to be honest. Like,
oh no, it never works. It never works.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Like the only reason why big time Bex worked in a sense is because people saw the fact that she was basically the female version of her husband, as far as the attire and the over theatrics. Because that was around when she turned heel, was around the exact same time Seth started introducing the whole crazy outfits, and she came out as big time Becky Lynch, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm keeping it being a buck. If it wasn't for her feud with Bianca, I probably wouldn't have cared.
Facts, bro.
Yeah.
Big facts.
Yeah, it's time to get rid of the man gimmick.
That was been time.
And not necessarily go. Yeah. It's not time to go back to the big time Bex. It's just you need to do something different. Like we need to see something different, like from your character or something like that, because it's gotten stale, and it feeds more into the backstage rumor, the dirt sheet talk that she's basically bogarting her way to get what she wants.
So,
and
well, hold on, Jermaine. Like, if that's the case, then let's go back to that whole her and Charlotte thing, the little awkward belt exchange. So please explain to me, because you said Bayley ran 2020, and she said something about Bayley's been talking about her since 2019. So again, if there's any real life, I mean, I don't know who would be for Bayley, but if there's
or attacking her since 2019.
Yeah, attacking her since 2019. So
that was true. That was kayfabe. That was more so kayfabe though.
Oh, okay, more kayfabe. Okay, that's all I want to know.
If you want like a brief recap, her and Sasha kept attacking her in 2019 before she got cut her hair and became the whole role model. She kept attacking her in 2022 when she just turned back babyface when she injured her shoulder. So yeah, the attacks were consistent. That's one thing about Bayley. She's consistent when she hates you.
True. Okay.
So that right there was story. Now, as far as like if there's legit beef between the two, honestly, I hope they use it, because that's when the stories are compelling. Yeah. Because both of them are professional, and if there is beef, that's your Intercontinental title feud that's going through the summer. Because I hate to say it, Lyra is just a stepping stone until we get to that feud.
Oh, facts. Yeah, facts.
Yeah. And I think this was the in-ring promo that Lyra cut, and then the backstage one that they put on socials. I've heard people say like that was the most interesting they've seen her on the main roster. And I've been maintaining that had they done the vignettes that they did for her in NXT on the main roster, that would have definitely helped her character get over a lot better with the audience. Instead of just being a really good in-ring worker, they would have understood her character better. But they're using this because it's the personal relationship between the two of them. They're going to get the belt off of Lyra, put it on Becky, and then Becky's going to hold down a little bit of that mid-card and whatnot. But like Gresh was saying, I think that there is something there. I don't think it's like a beef. I just think that it's like Bayley said in her interview, like, Becky and Charlotte, will put their foot down and say, no, I'm not doing this, and we need to do this, this, or this. And she's just not one of those kind of people that
It's a
have done
situation
that.
where
She
she
was
need
like,
to stop
maybe I
being a
should.
soldier and just be selfish a
Right.
little bit.
Sounds a lot like the Karrion Kross promo in Bailey's case, right?
Mhm.
And I guess, but it's crazy because the more you think about it, then that just means slick all four of these horsewomen, minus Bailey and Mercedes, just don't seem to like each other these days because of their egos. It seems
pretty much because I'm not gonna hold you. Who turned them into the four horsewomen to begin with? Because I feel like they never liked each other.
They at one point they all got along and they all.
See, that's the
worked
thing.
together,
People
and
assume just because you get along that you love to be around each other. Like you don't have to rope us all into each other.
Exactly.
That's like, bro, that's like me being the top dog in my field, and then you got other people who are working. Like, let's be real. At the end of the day, we're four horsewomen, but everybody wants our spot. Everybody wants my spot. So that's not going to last. That whole four horsewomen was definitely a promotional tactic because let's be real, they didn't really like each other except for Mercedes and Bailey.
Yeah, they crashed.
It started when they were in NXT, and they were putting on bangers of matches with other people and with one another. That's where all of that got.
Oh yeah, and Vince and them just like, yeah, we're gonna, even though the four horsewomen was just something that they was behind the scene, but we're gonna turn it into an actual reference, a thing, even though it's like, no. Because I believe Charlotte and Becky did like each other as friends, but then they had their falling out and they've been cordial. And then Sasha and Mercedes, Sasha and Bailey were a thing, and they still are as Mercedes and Bailey. So it's like, I'm pretty sure, it's always going to be tension there because you want my spot. Bailey is upset that she hasn't really been given a fair shake, that she feels like she hasn't been given a fair shake. And Becky probably sees that as like, so you want my spot. Okay. We're going to take it. But as far as Becky, she definitely needs an overhaul character-wise because the man peaked in 2019 and the whole big-time Bex thing did not work for me. It could have worked for some people, but for me, didn't care for it because I'm like, you're just the Irish version of your husband.
Well, to me, it kind of
worked. I'm saying for me, just for me. Like I was like, I'm not moved.
The way I saw it was like she hit her peak as the man. The pandemic hit and she got pregnant and she had to go away for a little while. And when she came back, she basically came back and was like, I'm this star. I'm like above the rest of y'all. Like, and that's what gave way to the big time Bex character. Like, I'm this superstar and y'all needed me to come back and blah, 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 blah. So I saw where they were going with it, and I see why they did that character change and everything. But again, coming back as this version of the man again, and then you're trying to turn heel, and again, like I said before, it just seems like she's just using her star status to get what she wants.
Yeah, can I be honest? Outside of the hardcore fans, is her star status even existent anymore?
Well,
they're gonna use that whole New York Times bestseller thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, according to Seth, I remember when he did that interview with, I believe that was Chris Van Vliet. Because they were asking him about the whole, he was supposed to be in that Captain America movie. So when they were on that subject, they were talking about his residence being out there, and then he was mentioning his wife Becky. So apparently, while she's been away, he was telling people she had been in like movies and stuff like that. So I guess we'll start seeing her in a lot more films. So depending on what she's marketed as, I guess that kind of makes her. I don't know. We'll have to see.
That was my main question because I'm like, when we hear this old big star type thing outside of hardcore fans, like, is she like popping like your Roman Reigns or your Seth or not or your John Cena's or your Batistas. That's why I asked, because I'm like, I haven't really been, but then on top of that, I've been in my own bubble for the past couple of weeks. So she may have been popping off. I don't know. So
time's gonna tell, man. But you fellas hit that on the nail. I'm glad we was able to get that off the chest, man. I just had to,
but in ring wise, are we interested in this match? Lyra versus Becky for the Women's Intercontinental Championship match?
I'd say so.
I mean,
NXT they did pretty well, so I think they'll.
Yeah, I'm hoping like they can put on a decent match, because people are so disinterested in Becky as a character and everything else that they're not really feeling it. And they weren't really feeling Lyra because, like I said, they haven't done a good enough job of presenting her on the main roster. So I think there's a lot of people who are just not feeling this match for one reason or the other, or both.
Oh, for sure. So, hey, man, we'll see what we got going on, and I guess we can pivot back and forth again to SmackDown a bit. That main event was insane. For the TLC lived up to the hype. Street Profits, Motor City Machine Guns, DIY with Ciampa without a beard.
Weird, ain't it? I know. That dude looks so weird without his beard.
Naked face Ciampa is like, I don't know. He looks more psycho without the beard. He looks more psycho without.
That's a scary thought.
With the beard, he was just looking like a pissed off grandpa.
Bro, and he's like 34, 35.
That's crazy. They're like, bro, you look older than Triple H.
He's definitely. Man, look, him and Trips look like they go and get them and Road Dogg and Michael Hayes, like they all go get the discount at any.
That man must have been stressed.
Facts. But yeah, man, this thing.
Oh, I'm sorry, he's 39.
Oh, okay.
A little bit.
Still.
He looked like 15 years old.
He looks older than John Cena, and John Cena is also 49.
Good point.
So
no, but this match, there's been some prisoner of the moment hyperbole about where this match ranks as far as a tag team and or a TLC match. And one thing I will say is that all 6 of those guys went out there and they were like, y'all gonna leave us off the Mania card? Bet. We gonna make you regret it. And I think that WWE already knew what these guys were gonna do and what they were gonna try to accomplish, because the match was commercial free. And I'm talking about, it was almost 20 plus minutes of non-stop action. Like, you know how sometimes you see some of these matches and there's lulls or breaks in the action or whatever? It was like, from the moment the bell rang and they first touched, the action did not stop until Montez unhooked those belts. There was something consistently going on at all. You didn't get one of those everybody's laid out and just for like 30, 45 seconds or whatever, and like the crowd's like, oh yeah, after a big spot. You didn't get any of that. And like, it almost made me think oh gosh, what was his name that they fired that used to always have the seizure-inducing camera cuts?
Kevin Dunn.
Yeah, it almost made you think Kevin Dunn was back in the technical truck, because they kept like cutting to different, but it was something going on here, it was something going on in the ring, and then there was something else. It was so much, and then there was somebody was wrestling in the crowd, and it was just so much going on. You would think Kevin Dunn was back in charge because they kept cutting away to different spots and different things like that. But I really like this match. I went back and I watched it again. I think last night.
Yeah, I saw it on YouTube because I'm not gonna hold you. When it was live, I fell asleep because I was tired. I just been tired a lot doing these shows. 3 hours just be 3 hours nowadays is just you asking a lot of me to stay awake, especially if we're getting repetition in other parts of the show, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna stretch my quads, stretch my legs, and doze off. And I wake up and I see the timeline saying, "Yo, this was awesome. This was crazy. This is one of the best TLC matches in recent memory." You also saw some people say, "Oh, this is one of the best TLC matches of all time," and I'm like, hold up.
Mhm.
Let's think this through.
Hold up. I'm so glad you said that, Gresh. Now
Let's think this through.
that leads me to. So I had to. I keep my ear to them places, and I was listening to Mr. Bully give a little his insight on this. But I'm gonna ask a question that he asked Mark Henry, and I'm gonna ask y'all this because I'm glad you said that, Gresh. What is the ideal when you think of this concept of TLC in general? What comes to mind?
6 to 8 men acting batshit crazy,
Right.
for some
And-
for to win that they're gonna feel later.
True, and when you think about the history out of all of these TLC matches, which one's always the one that stands out to you?
The one from 17 is going to stand. WrestleMania 17 is going to stand out because of the high spots in that one. But there was also one, I want to say, like that SummerSlam right before it.
Oh yeah,
really that first one that they put on, that one is oftentimes slept on because that was the original one that made them put it on the Mania card
the triangle
because it was
ladder
so dope.
match.
Yeah, that was the one that wasn't.
Yeah, no, they had a TLC match. I want to say it was
2000.
SummerSlam
2000. I'm
2000.
talking about it was built as a triangle ladder match. But seeing as the Dudleys love tables, they introduced tables and they brought the chairs because of the Hardys. And then the reason why it was introduced onto the ladder match, it was like, okay, so seeing as y'all just can't stick to ladders, we're gonna put all 3 in there. Tables, ladders, chairs, oh my. But as far as what sticks out to me, obviously WrestleMania 17, the one where JR called the match by himself.
Oh, that was that Monday Night Raw?
It was on Raw where JR was calling the entire match by himself. And then when I tell you, that man was going batshit crazy for everything. Good God, I'm like, I still watch it back from time to time. I think,
if I'm not mistaken, bro, I think that's the one where either Kane and Hurricane were the tag.
It was Kane by himself. It was a tag team match, but Hurricane got taken out by Triple H,
right?
And Ric Flair Evolution, and then Kane had to go out there and defend the tag title by himself, and he went batshit crazy too.
He showed it. Yep, I remember that. That is a slept-on, underrated TLC match. Good pick right there. But
that one and the second one, but people don't talk about it for obvious reasons because who's involved. It was 2001. It was on SmackDown because it was Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit defending the tag titles.
Yeah, I remember that one too.
That one was crazy good, but obviously they don't talk about it because,
of course not. I just think, man, this match was a really good match. Like, will it stand the test of time? Who knows? We will see. But it was definitely one of those matches where I was like, because I remember, like, I was watching basketball. And I didn't feel like doing the whole TV laptop. I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna just watch it because I was on the phone and doing some other stuff, and so I was just like, nah, let me just watch this. I'll watch it later. And when I went to watch it back, like I saw people online talking about it and everything. I was like, okay, bet. I'm glad Street Profits retained number one, because I've been pushing that agenda of Montez Ford and the Street Profits since November, but I just thought that I was like, okay, with these teams involved and the way these guys like to go crazy, like I know this was going to be a good match. And I think the thing that really pissed me off about it, just a callback to the Becky Lyra whole Bailey situation with those tag belts. Like this match should have definitely been that match.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure.
This was that, and I'm not just talking about the Dawkins spear and Ciampa through the table call back to Edge and Jeff Hardy. like because that was a dope, but like the blockbuster to the
Mhm.
outside of the ring and everything. Tez did another over the ring post dive spot. Um, this was one of the first times I remember seeing a head chair shot when I think it was Chris Sabin was diving outside of the ring, and Johnny Gargano held up the chair and kind of hit him in the head with. That was the first
Or
time that I
the
recall
head
seeing a
trap,
head chair
or the
shot in
head trap,
WWE.
where his head was in there and
Oh,
he just hit it
bro,
and he spun
man,
around. I'm like, this shit is.
Sheesh.
bruh. Alex Shelley is a maniac for taking
Oh,
that
he don't
chair
care.
shot. 'Cause that could have gone wrong so many different ways. Like
And then they
I'm
had to
like,
call
bruh,
back
they
to
all at
Full
it.
Metal Mayhem. Not Full Metal Mayhem, the Lights Out match that they had in TNA with the skull and bones through the
To
table
the
on the
table.
outside.
Yep. That was nice.
Now, see, I've heard, I
It was
can't
2008.
remember. Somebody, somebody said because I wasn't in the TNA back
Mhm.
then. Somebody said something about it, and I was like, oh,
That's what I'm
okay,
saying.
like
Mm,
because when they were setting up that
mhm.
spot, the crowd went nuts because they knew what was
Mhm.
coming,
Yep.
and it was almost like I was like, okay, this
And shout out Joe
like, and
Tessitore.
when they said it
And
on
shout out
commentary,
Joe Tessitore. This
he
man was
said
going
it.
crazy on comms. Like Wade, and the one thing I respect
Bro.
about the duo with him and Wade is Wade knows when Joe is into it that he steps back like, you got it.
Yeah,
I love that.
and that real quick, that's the thing that people don't like about Pat McAfee is that sometimes he steps on folk. He's starting to learn now. He's starting to kind of learn, but it's like they love McAfee's over the topness, and that's why
Yeah.
he's there. Plus, he brings a built-in audience. But I love the Wade Tessitore combo. Beautiful.
Love it.
Don't touch it.
Yeah, man. Hey, shout out to that, and shout out to this match, man. Y'all fellas said it right. I'm gonna go back and rewatch it too. But
Yeah, it's on
do y'all
YouTube. They
think?
uploaded the full thing on YouTube.
I did see that, but I will say this. This is my last closing point question for that. Do
Yep.
y'all think this now, as far as the tag team on the SmackDown side, do y'all think between these three, they can do with these three the way they did the Hardys, the Dudleys, and Edge and Christian, and kind of find ways to spark that tag team feeling back through these three and throw in the Pretty Deadlies and the Los Garças and the, other the Fraxium now since they're up there. Like, do you think that's going to be a thing they do, or
They have to.
Yeah.
They have to. Like you have to ride this momentum. People are talking or still waving about this match. You have to follow up and you have to cook. Now you have your fractions up there. You have to have them in contention. You have Pretty Deadly, like you said. Legato's. Was it? Is it Los Garza?
Los Garza? Yeah.
Los Garza. You got them. Like you have to ride that wave. Now, as far as Raw, they need to fight back, but that's another story for another time because
Hey,
y'all are handicapped right now.
the New Day can only do so much.
They can only do so much before you just be like, you know what, fuck it. But yeah, man, like I was definitely moved by this. So hey, man, all power to y'all. Like speaking of power, Jacob Fatu is U.S. champ, and he's out there doing dives in the shiesty.
Mm-hmm.
That Jacob Fatu is probably my favorite wrestler right about now. And it's strictly because not only can the brother cut promos, he can perform in the ring, but he's real. And you believe
The
him.
fact that he's champion not even a full year since
Bruh.
being in WWE tells me everything I need to know.
Bruh, I got the funniest story to share with y'all when it came to this man right here. When that night one, when that match happened and they were doing the entrances, LA Knight, as y'all know, pulled up in the little Maserati, right? So, you know how he pulled up the window down, he looked into the camera, all, like the way he did. Somebody was like, I can't convincingly understand why somebody's trying to look hard in some tights coming out in the Maserati like that, coming down to that. But peep this though. Peep this. Because when Jacob Fatu came around, I was like, now y'all pay attention to this brother because trust me when I say The look you see is authentic, and this brother, real deal, has a real past, and you're going to see it. And then some people were looking at him, they're like, you know what? Actually, the more I think about it, yeah, he does look intimidating to me. He actually scares the mess out of me right now. Like, he was scaring casuals, people. That's how you know this man has the it factor, okay? Casuals were afraid of this man, and they're looking at this man like, I like this dude. Like, he made so many fans out of them casuals just off this man's aura. Point blank, period.
Listen,
Bro, one of my friends that I got back into wrestling, shout out to Dre, man. Dre's been a really this is truck driving Dre, because there's Dre that does the lacrosse podcast, and then my older friend Dre. But Dre's good dude, real good dude. Shout out to him, much love. But when I got him back into it, this was about a year or two ago. It's been about 2 years now, I want to say. One of the first pieces of merch that he bought and sent the picture to our group chat was a Jacob Fatu shirt. He was like, man, I love him. He was like, he's my favorite right now. Like, he even got his wife watching it with him and stuff like that, man. And Fatu is his favorite. And it's because of the authenticity and the believability that he brings to the ring and with that character. And it's like when he's cutting those promos, you believe like, okay, yeah, he is gonna dog walk your bitch ass. And like when he in the ring and it's like a dude that's 280 pounds moving the way he moves, you feel like, God damn, like,
like, what am I doing wrong?
yeah, like, wait a minute, like, how? And then like the way he presents and walks to the ring and the scowls, the facial expressions and everything, like, he just brings such a realism and a believability that you don't even feel like, and I can see why the casuals would like him, because it's almost like, you know, we know wrestling is scripted or predetermined. It don't feel like that when Jacob Fatu is on your screen. It feels like it's real.
Yeah. They listen, if they play their cards right, he will be what Umaga should have been.
Ooh.
And that's
Mike
if they play their cards right. And honestly, I just be realistic. He keeps straight on this straight and narrow path. Sky's the limit for him. And I'm here for every step of the way, because it took me watching that behind the scenes, not behind the scenes, more so like the Who is Jacob Fatu series of videos that MLW did, to where I'm like, yeah, I have no choice but to root for this guy.
Bro, like I've grown up with and known people like him and been around people like him, like in real life, and to see him like get to this level. And one of the realest things he said, I want to say it was that Sunday, he did a interview with the 520 podcast, Jeff T. And they was like, you know, what was your big first purchase or whatever it was? You know, how people ask, when you get some money, what did you do? And straight up, brother, real, I mean, the absolute realest answer you get. He was like, shit, pay my rent on time.
Real
like, pay my rent on time.
Yeah.
Like,
real. That is the realest shit you will ever say. Because, boy,
bruh,
when,
like,
you know what I did when I got
on,
a lump sum of money? I paid my damn rent on time. I actually paid my rent in advance. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, bro, and I paid my car note in advance and my insurance. Like, bro, that was the first thing that you did. Like, when you are an adult and you have experience and you understand struggle, the first thing you do is not to try to blow your money on nonsensical bullshit. You're like, let me make sure I'm comfortable, my family's comfortable, and then if I have anything left, then I may indulge in a libation or two. But I have to make sure I'm straight on that front.
True. And that's the mistake a lot of people make in real life, because when you come from nothing so much, you quickly go get everything you never had, and you forget the fact that you should take care of the stuff so that you're not in that position to struggle again, or when the lifestyles and all of that come around. And that's why it's just like, y'all brothers hit that on the nail. That's exactly what you want, man. Shout out to Fatu, man. You know, I had a question for y'all, though. I will say this before moving on. You mentioned he's everything that Umaga should have been, so that led me to think back for a second. when they were Jamal and Rosie, rest in peace to both of y'all. Are y'all telling me that's basically he was the standout of the two?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Wow.
easily. Like, and
Dang,
I feel like, and I feel like they saw it too. And unfortunately, his demons got the better of him. Because that's the reason why he got fired, was because his demon he could not go to rehab.
true.
So it's like, I feel like if he, real talk, if Umaga was on the straight and narrow back then, he would still be around and still be cooking.
That reminds me so much of that clip. And I mean, Jermaine, you were at Wally Mania, so I'm sure you saw it. But I saw that clip of Jeff Hardy there when I saw the love he got up there, and it made me think of that for a second because if there's a reason to count your blessings with Jeff, then
him too.
Yeah,
him too. If his demons did not take control of him, he would definitely be 2008, 2009 Jeff Hardy right now.
Man.
Probably not right now as far as like his body catching up with him, but more so like he wouldn't have went to TNA in 2010.
No, he was such, and the thing is like Jacob can do a lot of the stuff Umaga did, but he has a lot more athleticism,
and his bag is definitely bigger.
He's not as big as Umaga was, so but he can still do a lot of the power moves that Umaga did, but he also does a lot of the like high flying stuff that, like, I mean, bruh, I haven't seen Jimmy or Jay hit a moonsault. I haven't seen I've seen like the last like it's just the way his like Jagresha, his bag is way bigger than Umaga's, and he can do a bunch of different things in that ring. And one of the things that I did to get my homeboy into it was I showed him the MLW match of Fatu and Alex Kane. That one that they went like 40 minutes or whatever. And I think it was another one with Fatu, and I think Hammerstone was the other one I sent him from MLW. And I was like, look at his stuff before he got to WWE, because I want you to get the full scope of what this dude can really do, because WWE, I don't know when, if, or how they're going to unleash him. I was like, but you need to know what this dude is fully capable of. And that stuff right there, like, really, like, put him on the path to be like, yeah, I like this dude. Like, he's for real.
And speaking of real, it is real. Aleister Black and Rusev are back in WWE. How we feeling about what they got going on?
With Rusev, I did enjoy the vignette they did to
the Redeemer.
I love how they explained it and they showed you the original Rusev, how he was, pretty much a monstrous on top of the world figure before kind of tumbling down, in a nice way. He put it where you could tell everybody who remembered knew, like, yeah, you sure were before that John Cena match of doom. If he just kind of fell down the card, and he never got to get back to that status. But I like how he made it seem like instead of AEW land, I went back to Bulgaria, which he kind of did for real, and just kind of got into the abyss a little bit and realized, like, hey, you know what? And I came out with something else. So I like that hero. It's going to be interesting what we see about Aleister Black. Some people think it's not a good look that he attacks the Miz on his first way back,
I think I like what he was saying though about the whole Aleister Black thing, attacking the Miz and whatnot, because it's something that, to me, I liked it only because it was safe. Because the Miz is one of those guys where if you want to establish somebody and show like this person is serious, or this person is a threat or whatever, the Miz can take it. He can verbally assault you on the mic and make you want to beat him up, and then he can take a good ass whipping. So when the Miz was doing his Miz thing on the mic, and then Aleister hit him with the black mass, like it fit perfect. because everybody likes to see the Miz get his head kicked in or his face beat in or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like I love it. I like the way they presented him, and everybody was happy that he had the old music back, and that was the biggest thing. Now, as far as Rusev is concerned, I was glad that they changed his music and kind of tapped into that whole redeemer type of character that he had going on in
because it works.
AEW. Exactly. And I saw some some AEW marks saying, "Oh, he did all of that just to talking about the abyss, and then he's going right back to where he was and using the same character that he had in AEW." Yeah, because they're gonna figure out a way to make it work there, whereas AEW, he and AEW couldn't figure out a way to make it work there. Like once he dropped that TNT title, there wasn't really much like after that they followed up with that was like interesting or whatever. And I guess with injuries and or creative differences, it never really panned out the rest of the way. So, and that's the only thing that I get upset and or frustrated about with AEW is that there are certain times with some people they figure out a way to make it work, and then with other people they don't know how to make it work, and that's the part that's frustrating about it. And I love seeing either people go from one company to the other and they succeed in the other place. It's simply because one company figured out how to tap into what this person can do and make it work, and the other company didn't. And that's okay. It's okay. The business is healthy. Wrestlers have more than one place where they can make a decent living. So let's just be happy and grateful that these guys and women can have a place where they can bounce back and forth or go to different, do the indies or what have you, and still work on their craft and make a decent living.
Yeah, I don't even acknowledge people online anymore when they like most of the people that complain. Usually, I muted them already because at this point it's like you're complaining. Because I actually had that comment. It was like, so why would he go back? Why would he bring like I've seen that same comment. Why would he bring a character from the competition? Because it works, my nigga. Like that's like me. That's like me
I mean,
finding gold somewhere else,
mhm.
returning and doing something new instead of doing the gold that I did over there.
Come on, man, talk about it. Talk about it. Why would Ricochet continue to try to do what he was doing in WWE when it wasn't really working for him there? Why not go to AEW and try something new, especially because they're going to give you a lot of the creative freedom to do so. The same thing with a lot of different people. Like there's going to be times where it's going to work in WWE and it won't work. There's going to be times where it's going to work in AEW and it won't work. But again, like, and this is why I've had discussions with a couple of friends of mine, especially like one guy that we talked to, DJ. DJ always says he's not a wrestling fan. He just enjoys pro wrestling because he says wrestling fans are weird and they're tribalistic and foolish, and they get to a point where it's no longer fun because they make it all about this other stuff, and it becomes more of a chore instead of a fun thing to do or an escapism. And when I see guys like Rusev, Aleister Black pop up, and they doing their thing, and it's like the presentation is there and everything else, cool. I love it, digging it. Like the stuff that they're gonna be able to do here is gonna be a lot better, and it's gonna fit them better because they're more WWE guys. Whereas there's some people that may be AEW guys. But bottom line, I love that they're tapping into this character with Rusev, and I'm glad that they're bringing back the old Aleister Black theme music and entrance and everything.
They definitely remade that entrance though.
Oh, you know what?
Instrumental wise,
I saw most of it, but again, I was distracted while I was watching. I do need to go back and watch that part because when I went back to watch SmackDown, I went and watched the TLC match.
I'm about to say, I would say it's the same song, but they definitely tweaked it. It's the instrumental.
Okay, gotcha.
Is like when you listen to the classic, the CFO one, you didn't hear the drum, the snare as loud as you heard when they played it. This one, I was like,
Okay.
The snare is definitely louder. This is not the same song. It's the same lyrics. I'm like, this is not the same song.
Mhm.
And I was like, nah, I'm cool with it though, because it wasn't a bad song, but you can definitely tell that they re-recorded similar to what they did with CM Punk's theme song. They re-recorded it. So I won't be surprised. So this is definitely a
Gotcha.
re-record, because I'm like, nah, sounds slightly remastered or remixed. So
Yeah, I'm about to pull it up right now, so that way when we done here, I could run that back on the laptop while I'm watching basketball. But yeah, man, I love the fact that they're giving these guys another shot to do their thing, because sometimes you like I said, you have something that will work in one company that won't work in another company. So what if he discovered that gimmick in AEW? He brought it over to WWE, and they're gonna figure it out how to make it work.
yeah.
Bottom.
And I know I saw some people was like they kind of wanted Alistair's Malachi entrance, but I'm like, hey man, beggars can't be choosers. I mean, did you prefer Malachi's entrance over Alistair, or it didn't really matter to you?
It didn't really matter, because to me both fed into the character that he was trying to portray. I'm a little more partial to the Alistair entrance, because with the whole little leaning up thing and the whatever they call, I can't remember what that little apparatus is called. But when you have that,
Oh, you talking about the riser?
and then he just pops. Yeah, in the camera shot, the way they shoot it and everything. Oh man, it's dope. The Malachi entrance was dope too, because when I heard he signed with AEW, that was one of the things that I was looking for to see. How is he going to make his entrance? How are they going to present him, and how can he keep up that same mystique and that same like character and everything? And they found a way to do it, and it was cool. And even when they put him with Brody King and Buddy Matthews, and they all three had the masks and everything else, I was like, okay, this is pretty dope. So they keeping that whole mystique and that vibe going. But I mean, either one is fine. I am a little bit partial to the riser and the camera shot.
Me too. I just wanted to do that. Before we wrap up with Raw, with a little bit more Raw talk, let's switch over to AEW for a bit. How we feeling about the Owen tournaments so far?
Is shaping up to really look like we kind of figured it was going to look.
Yeah. Because didn't I say I was like, I could see it going two ways. They either run back Chris and Mercedes, or they go with Jamie and Mercedes. Do you feel like they finna go the way that I said they're gonna go with Jamie upsetting Mercedes, or you feel like Mercedes gonna go straight through?
I'm feeling that it's gonna be Hater, because I think that they're gonna do Athena Mercedes at All In. I'm feeling like they're gonna do Athena Mercedes at All
Gotcha.
In. And I would love it, because it would show, like I said before, it would show like Mercedes spiral. Like she has that chink in her armor now, and that's something that Athena can needle her with. And the only thing is that Athena still has that ROH title. And I don't know if you get that off of her before she battles Mercedes, or if they could find a way for Mercedes to interfere to cause her to lose the ROH women's title, and then add that layer to the feud or something like that. But I personally think that if Hater wins, you get 2 matches out of this. If Mercedes wins, you only have 1 match out of it.
True. Because I know it, and this is how I can see it going, and it could be completely wrong. It's just me having fun with it. Mercedes Double or Nothing is before the next ROH pay-per-view. So if Athena costs Mercedes or this match, Mercedes can easily interfere in that in whenever Athena defends her title, and then that can be your all-in match for the TBS title.
Bro, I didn't even know that when I said that. I was just going along with it, because I like to split the storylines and get as much out of it as possible.
What's up,
question, bro? With that theory you have, has she already reached 1,000 days yet?
Who, Athena?
Yeah, did she reach that
I
1,000-day mark?
I believe she's at 800 or
She
something.
she had like eight something, close to
Because
900.
I feel like she ain't losing that until she hits that 1,000 days. She on that Roman now. Like they gonna make sure she hit that 1,000. Her and Roman gonna be in that 1,000 club, boy. They gonna be.
Athena statistics, longest reign. Athena is currently at 871 plus.
Oof. That's
I mean,
cutting close.
even if she losing it, she's literally going to be the champion, the longest champion for a long time.
That's true.
Yeah, this is 872 as counting today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I figured she was somewhere that I knew she was at least 8 something because the last time it wasn't that long ago that I heard she was at like 800.
It was 2 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I still feel like they may try to get her at 1,000 days, but if they don't, like you said, she'll still hold the record. So I won't be too sour about it per se. But I don't know, man. I wouldn't mind old Mercedes getting all the belts one time.
No, me either. But I'm just saying, I'm like, for the sake of them filling out the pay-per-view as opposed to them just getting one match off and then having to figure out what they want to do with the rest of the card, you can get two.
Yeah, no, good point. Good point. I mean, I'm not mad at either one of these outcomes because I love both ladies, and honestly,
because it would be dumb to not have Athena on that All In show.
Big fact, especially when it's in Texas. So you gotta have her. And
bro, it's literally in her backyard.
Yeah. Are y'all making official predictions with this one?
No.
No.
That don't happen until the end of next month. Like
okay, cool. I'm just making sure. Sorry.
No, we just catching up on it. Like okay, this is where we standing right now because it's pretty much I ain't gonna hold you. This is pretty much the only interesting tidbits of AEW that I'm rocking with right now. So.
You ain't feeling the Swerve Kenny team up. The Super Tandem.
I don't give a shit about that. But the next thing with the Owen, we got this is gonna be determined tomorrow on Dynamite. We're gonna either have Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher again, or we're gonna have Will Ospreay and Hangman. I definitely see Hangman winning. So we'll see. We'll definitely talk about that a little bit more tomorrow. How are we feeling about that MJF and Hurt Syndicate mumbo jumbo? Because I mean, I said I'm rocking with it on Thursday. And nothing's really changed. I'm rocking with it as far as like it's the audacity.
it's feeling like a drag until they get Cedric to finally come up in there and complete the set.
Do you think Cedric's gonna go up in there, or you think it's just gonna have MJF be their Owen Hart?
Based off the word of both from his interview with Chris Van Vliet and their interview with Chris, it's on the table. It's on the table. They ain't say no. You know what I mean? They, he definitely open to it. But I think it falls on Tony. You know what I'm saying? It just falls on Tony on if he really want to make that move. But we'll see. I mean, if it got to be MJF, you can't trust that fool. You know it.
They don't even trust him. They literally say, like, hey, the moment he get out of line, we're gonna drop him.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm glad they bullying him too.
To me. Yeah, to me it has my attention because I want to see what they do and where they go with this and how this ends up. But it's like the way they're going about it is kind of like I don't know. Like they're keeping my interest, but it's like I need to see something because y'all there's storylines in wrestling that have a tendency to drag out. And you're like, what are we doing with this? And I know, for example, the early on announcement of Jay saying, I'm going to challenge Gunther. That kind of was one thing that kind of drug out for a few weeks. And then it kicked into high gear. But it sometimes these storylines tend to, you're not sure where they're going with it, but you're going to hang on to it. I just don't want it to get to one of those points like the Death Riders, where it's like, what are we doing? And it's like a chore to watch those segments every week because you don't know the direction that it's going in, or you can't even foreshadow it or nothing. It's just like, what is this mumbo jumbo? But I'm into it still because I'm just the whole dynamic and everything is just interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
That car segment was funny. I'll give him that. That was hilarious. We're going up. We're taking a walk. I'm like, huh? I'm like, okay. And then the fact that Bobby kept doing this, like, I'm gonna put it down. I'm gonna put it down. You know, he's like, oh, wait. Before you do that. Oh man, it just feel like, you know how, like, you know what that game. To those who ever seen the 5 Heartbeats, remember how he's like, my office hours from 9 to 5, and he hanging over the balcony. Oh. That's what that whole thumbs in the middle was getting. It felt like he was hanging him over the balcony. He's like, no. Wait. I'll give you the whole thing.
Stop. I have a big red shirt. I have a big red T-shirt.
Yes.
That says my office hours are 9 to 5. And the cartoon character drawing of it that's on the shirt is when his hair was messed up and he was about to slap old boy. Is that picture? Yeah, I have that shirt. I'm gonna remind me post show to send that to the
Please
group
do, brother. That's gonna be hilarious. Oh my god.
Last 2 bits. Well, is it last 2 bits? Last bit, main bit before we get up out of here. Seth Rollins faction. How we feeling about it 2 weeks in? The future. This nigga been saying he's the future for the past 10 years.
Yeah. I'm digging it. The only thing that I'm hating is the same thing like the stuff with The Rock. Everybody's like, who's the third man? Who's the fourth man? Who's the... Bro, why do everybody have to have somebody else? What if it's just them?
Oh, I'm cool. I was just bullshitting.
No, I know you was just bullshitting, but I'm talking about all these other conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Well, have threads and think pieces going about it and stuff.
I kind of understand why they might think this, because when you talk
now,
about,
I understand them saying if it's a woman, just to spice it up a bit.
That's it.
But another man in the group, nah, this is enough. You got Seth, the clear leader, Paul Heyman, the negotiator, and Braun Breaker, the hitman.
True.
Who's the future?
The other
Sierra. The future is Braun Rotisserie Chicken Breaker.
Hey, the future is Seth Rollins in the $13,000 plus jacket.
Boy, you saw that shit? I said, bro, this is not my tax bracket.
Look, I need to mind mine too, because I'm like, hey, yo, if you okay. When last year at Mania, when he wrestling in Fear of Gods, the shoes, that's like 2 stacks. I was like, yeah, this is, you know what, this is way different because it ain't no way I'm wrestling.
But you know what annoys me about this shit with Seth? It's like, bro, you're repeating the same thing over and over and over. This is about the future of the industry, bro. You got like a good 2 years, 3 years max before you hang it up.
Yeah, that brother's back is definitely bothering him all the time.
Your body is catching up with you. Exactly. I'm like, come on, bro.
Well, I guess this is like his last hurrah at the top, if you think about it. You know.
And I don't mind it, but I'm talking about I'm gonna need more than just this is about the future of the industry. You've been saying this is about the future since 2014, my boy. It's 2015. It's 2025.
Hey, bro. That man, because he's been constantly denied to be the guy and take the ball and run with it. That's why we keep hearing that. And in character and in shoot, he's talked about this several times that he feels like he should be the guy. And this is his way of like, you know what? Roman was the guy for all this time. And I couldn't find a way to topple him. Then Punk comes back and he's trying to bogart that spot too. That Mania win in the power play with Heyman was his way of saying, I'm about to devalue both of you who are at that spot, and I'm going to take this spot for myself, my rightful spot that I feel like I should have been given years ago.
I mean, you were given it, but your body just gave up on you.
But he wasn't, to me, even when he had the title, he wasn't the guy. He was just the world champion.
Well,
He wasn't seen as the ball carrier. Is what I'm
Well,
saying.
okay, Jermaine, there's a certain person we can say that same thing about. No wonder if that's the case why Seth is one of his guys then. That was Triple H in the 2000s. He was never the guy either. But that didn't stop him from getting multiple title runs and holding it half the time. But even then, Stephanie McMahon or the McMahon-Helmsley era and all of that, like, even with all that, he was never the guy. They still wanted Stone Cold.
I mean,
You
could argue. I mean, but you could argue like after Stone Cold left and Rock left, between them and Cena, who did they have but Triple H? And they used Triple H to help make Cena. Because remember, they were supposed to have back-to-back WrestleMania main events, and Triple H got hurt again. That's when they had to put in Shawn Michaels.
Well, yeah.
So I'm saying, like, Triple H was that guy. Like, he kept fighting for his spot while Stone Cold and Rock and Undertaker and all of them were there. And when he finally got a chance to get the ball, he had it for a few years until Cena was ready. And then once Cena was ready, Cena took the ball and ran with it because Triple H kind of handed him that torch. And so he had it for a minute, and then it was time for somebody else. And the cool thing about it is that if you look back on all those years ago, Triple H never did interviews and stuff like that in character or whatever, where he said he thinks he should be the guy, or the time when Triple H did that when he was coming up. And that was when he came up with the whole game gimmick in that famous interview with JR on Sunday Night Heat in August of '99, I believe it was. So you didn't hear him talk about it, but now that more of the fourth wall has been peeled back and you can get characters to talk about it and shoot interviews, more people are doing, and they're talking about it. That's why we keep hearing Seth talk about this, because if you look at it, even when Seth had the world title, who was everybody looking for? They were looking for Daniel Bryan to come back. They were looking for Roman. They were people forcing Roman down their throat. Lesnar was here and stuff like that. So he never really got a chance to be the guy and be the torch bearer for the company. And this is his way of trying to like get to that spot. And now he's got a young killer under him to help like work some of those matches and take some of that stuff off of him where he's not having to wrestle every night. And so I think that if they're going to add to the stable, it should help surround and protect and basically insulate Seth so that he can just, be the orchestrator, the architect, and then go after with his spot.
Okay. So I'll ask this closing question then to the both of you fellas based off the promo that happened between that man, Seth, and the man that suffered, I guess, the consequences, if you will, and Sami Zayn. Now, based off the promo I heard him and that fire he mentioned, he was pretty much proclaiming, like, I will be a world champion. So leads me to wonder, in a situation, let's say hypothetically, Seth's the one to dethrone Jay, take the world title, have this stable carried it on, and I guess you could say Sami wins the Royal Rumble, goes against Seth and becomes the world champion and actually fulfills what he says. Will that then mean if what you're saying, Jermaine, is true about Seth finally being in that spot, even before Braun kind of starts to be ready, as you mentioned with a Cena, does that also mean Sami gets to finally have his spot he's never got to truly have either? Because he hasn't had that spot since his NXT days.
I see Sami winning the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Sami's one of those guys, and I agree with Gresh. Sami's one of those guys where he could have like a Jey Uso type of galvanize the fans moment, or like a Daniel Bryan or a Kofi Mania or something like that. Because remember, a couple years ago at Elimination Chamber in Toronto, people were really thinking he might knock off Roman. There were people who really thought that because of the way that build went and everything. And we all knew, like, come on, man, this between the Rumble and Mania, like, this is just to give him a world title match in his backyard and separate that story and move forward with him and KO, and everything else. That was a way to do that. And I just believe that Sammy, at any point in time, they can spark him up into that world title picture, because he's one of those guys that he may not be like in the main event scene, but he's always hovering around it because of his popularity and he can work in the ring.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm with it. I agree, man. That's it.
Sami Zayn was definitely the perfect person to finalize this new stable. For sure, because he's such a sympathetic babyface.
Yeah, I agree.
Even though people thought he was going to turn on Jey Uso last week, I feel like Sammy has that thing about him that he's just such a lovable babyface that you can't. I mean, you can, but it's like I feel like you really can't turn him heel anytime soon.
Yeah, he had his fun with that. We don't need him going back to the jackass days as a heel. We know that's all they would do with him. Make him that chicken dish heel. And he's just better as he's always been great for that underdog role. Even going back to them NXT years. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I look forward to that moment then when he does get to have it. And yeah, that's all I have, fellas.
Yeah, and that's all we have too. I mean, we could reference Pat McAfee versus Gunther, but I'm
Nah, we good.
Yeah, we good on that. What y'all got coming up this week? Let's start with you, Jermaine.
We're gonna be back on Susio Sports tomorrow night, man. After taking a little hiatus because I was just tired.
I knew it.
But we got a lot to talk about with the draft and the playoff and whatnot. And MLB is finally like getting into the gritty part of their season and whatnot. So we got a little bit to talk about tomorrow.
Man. Hi-Lite.
Likewise, man. Given the family stuff that went on the last few weeks, I was in the process of trying to set up some interviews for Life's a Botch. So we're gonna get back on that. So I'll keep you guys posted when we got something lined up. And just keep it locked with all things Life's a Botch at OTS Media Co. And keep it locked in with your boy, man. We appreciate y'all.
Oh, and I do have, I did hear back, like one of the articles is supposed to drop, I believe, next month. Well, in May, I'll say, on Black Wrestling. So be on the lookout for that.
So,
yeah. Yes, sir. And make sure you guys tap in with everything we got going on this over here. We got some content in the works. We're gonna try to slide y'all out. Like, we appreciate you guys who are still rocking with us over on Patreon, patreon.com/GRESH. We appreciate y'all for your constant support. We're working on getting some content for you guys who still rock with us over there. New episode of Public Enemies Podcast is Thursday, 7:20 Eastern Standard Time. And then we'll be right back here next week for another installment of the GRESH Unleashed podcast. And with that being said, you guys stay safe out here in these streets. And remember to always eat, sleep, flex, and repeat.